Cool. All right, so let's get started here. And then let's get started with kind of similarly like we did last time, where we talked about the food fears that were based, or food thoughts that were based on fear. And we also have a lot of fears like that with exercise. And so some of the things that typically come to our mind when I think about exercise and fears are mostly, or most of the things are like fat loss and fat gain and weight gain related. So, for example, we have thoughts like, if I don't work out, then I'll get fat, right? Pretty common one. Or this injury, if somebody's injured, we can go like, oh, this injury isn't that bad. I power through this workout because if I skip a day, I'll get fat, right? It's always this like, oh, I get fat. Another one would be if I don't follow my workout program exactly, it means I'm weak and I'm not disciplined enough, right? Like say the workout plan tells you to do certain things and you don't feel like it, but you just power through no matter how much you're hurting or how much you don't want to do it, you still do it, right? Otherwise you think you're weak. Then one of the really common thoughts is that taking rest days means I'm going to gain weight overnight. It's going to be so bad. Another one would be I should never take unplanned rest days because if I do, it means I have no willpower to follow through. Although unplanned rest days, there's nothing bad about them. It's actually a great thing to listen to our bodies. And when the bodies are telling us to take a rest day, we should really take it. And then one more would be, for example, I have to make it to my 5 a.m. class, even if it means that I get less than 6 hours of sleep. The reason could be like my stomach is fat and it will get even fatter if I don't go, right? So we have this habit, a lot of women have this habit of like pinching their bodies or standing in front of the mirror and just being like, oh, this is so gross and so nasty that, you know, I gotta go to that class and just work it off or whatever. So the main fears that we have that force us into those obsessive behaviors are we don't want to be overweight for first, then we don't want to be seen as lazy or undisciplined, second one, and also we must be perfect in everything we do. So many women struggle with this, with perfectionism. No matter what we do, we think it has to be perfect, right? But the sad thing is that we forget to ask our bodies what they think and how they are feeling, right? We just think that with our minds we can power through everything, but how is the physical body feeling? And the biggest fear, which is the weight gain, usually comes from insecurity and problems with low self-worth. To be completely honest, like when you dig deep, you usually find that I'm doing this because I feel good about myself, or like I don't know, I feel better, or I feel like I'm a better person, whatever those things are. But if we had more self-worth that is not so much tied into all this fitness stuff, things would be much easier and we would make so many better fitness choices. One important thing to remember is that our value isn't higher the more we work out. So a person who works out 7 days a week is not in any ways better than a person who works out 3 days a week or has a full week off, right? There's an interesting study where they asked women, would you rather be hit by a truck or be overweight? And 54% of women said that they'd rather be hit by a truck, which is a pretty shocking number. Like hitting by a truck can end very, very badly. And a lot of people are ready to take that over being, you know, overweight. And the overweight is so funny to me because usually overweight is categorized by, you know, the BMI. If your BMI is 25 or higher, then you are overweight, and it's supposed to be a really, really bad thing, or so we think. Whereas, for example, in my personal case, and I know other women too, who, for example, in recovery from hypothalamic amenorrhea, have to get their body weights up to BMI of like, you know, close to 25. Mine was like 24 and a half when I got my period back. So it means I was very close to that overweight, and I should have been then sicker than before, but I got my period back, meaning I was healthier. So it's so interesting to see how the word overweight is like so alarming for many people, and they think that this is even worse than being hit by a truck. So just something to think about. So talking about fitness, it's important to kind of know what our focus is with the fitness. And some fitness goals help us to make better decisions and listen to our bodies more than others. So it's a good thing to ask yourself, what am I focused on? So in general, strength and health focused training is one thing. And then the other side is like working out to burn calories. And these are two very different things. And on the next slide, I'm going to show you kind of a little infographic, I guess, that I put together. And I just want to say that this graphic, it shows just like tendencies, how people tend to treat their bodies when they have strength and health focus, and how they treat their bodies and themselves when they have the calorie burning focus, right? So these are the tendencies, not rules. I'm not saying that all the calorie burning workouts are always bad, or people who do those workouts are always have low self-esteem. I'm not trying to generalize here, but these are the tendencies, okay? So if someone's focus is on health and strength and feeling good, then they usually work out listening to their bodies, right? Because they know if they don't listen, then they're not going to be good at what they're doing, right? They're not gaining strength or getting stronger. Whereas if somebody's only focusing on burning calories, they probably go like, oh, it doesn't matter how my body feels. I work out the way that helps to lose weight or burn more calories, right? Then again, the strength and health focused person works out when she feels rested and recovered. Whereas if the goal is calorie burning, they work out even if they're tired. I have definitely been there. No matter how tired I was, I would go out because I like, okay, I gotta burn calories. A strength and health focused person makes changes to their plans as needed, right? When they feel like, okay, something doesn't feel right or comfortable, I'm gonna change this. But the other person who's focused only on fat loss, burning calories, never makes changes to the plan that they had in mind. Again, this is the perfectionism piece, right, that comes into play. Then the first person, if they didn't sleep enough, they don't work out because it only makes them more tired, and they know it, right? What sense does it make to go around 60 minutes if you slept really poorly and just don't have energy you're not getting stronger or better. But the other person who works out only to burn calories works out anyway, even if she got 4 to 6 hours of sleep and has a lot of stress going on. Now, the first person takes enough rest days in their week, and the second person does not take rest days or has just maybe one a week. The first person also takes unplanned rest days if she needs them, and the other one does generally not take unplanned rest days because it would mean that they're weak, which of course it's not the case. They're not weak, but it's their own perception and their own self-criticism. Then the first health-focused person does not work out when they're injured or sick, and they rest because they know that working out means that they barely have energy, and that way they're not getting stronger because their goal is strength and health, right? And now the calorie-focused person works out even if she's injured or sick, or if they're really so injured and so sick that they cannot go, they feel incredibly guilty. And then lastly, the first person, the health-focused person, enjoys their workouts generally and the results that they're getting from them. And the second person often does not want to work out, but says that I have to. And the interesting part is that they're still never happy with the results, right? No matter how much weight they lose, no matter how low body fat, no matter how many calories, they're still like, oh, that wasn't enough. So that's like a mindset issue, right? Being enough. And then my recommendation is to be really honest with yourself. We tend to make decisions that are honest and better for us when our focus is on our health and strength versus burning more calories, right? If we really ask, does this help me make stronger and healthier? If the answer is yes, then we make a better choice, right? And if we know, no, this is not going to make us healthier, then we probably don't make that choice. But the person who's just working out to burn more calories does the thing that's the most calorie burning thing, right? Anyways, no matter what. And I want to say that weight loss goals aren't necessarily bad, but we still have to have self-respect, and we have to keep up the positive self-talk whether or not we lose the weight, right? So the weight gain is a fine goal, but let's not go crazy with it. Before working out, ask yourself several questions. Am I putting my health first right now? Am I listening to my body right now? Is this type of workout going to make me stronger or weaker or healthier or unhealthier, right? Let's go back to like, okay, I slept 5 hours. Does it make sense to do 30 minutes HIIT now? Or it does not. Does it make me stronger? Probably not. Does it make me healthier? Probably not, right? And then am I ignoring my need for rest? Also, another question to ask, what workout do I really feel like doing today? And this is all about the honesty. Like, be honest, what do you really feel like? And what is the nagging voice in your head that tells you like what you should do? And there's a big difference. We'll talk about it later. Okay, so now jumping right into the Q&A. These are the questions that you sent me in the survey about a month ago or so. And there are 10 questions, and I'm going to answer them. So the first thing is that how to work out just enough to see results, but not burn myself out. That's a good one, right? In other words, like how do you find that sweet spot? But I want to know, like, what kind of results are we talking about? Because there are so many results that we get from fitness. Is the result to improve or maintain good health? Is the result we're looking for getting stronger, or is it losing weight? Because there are a little bit different ways to work out to achieve those goals. So let's say that the goal is to improve the health or maintain good health. So for healthy people, and this is for healthy people, the best things are daily walking and movement. So figure out how to move, taking the stairs and taking the trash out. All these things count as movement. So it's so important to do that. It's also important to stretch and do mobility and foam rolling. It's very important. I see this a lot as I work at the chiropractic clinic, that people are so tight and they lack mobility, and their joints are like, they may work out hard, but they're not mobile or flexible. They actually shouldn't work out so hard. So this is a really, really important part of healthy training. And then, in my opinion, also really important of healthy training is your choice of strength training, about 3 times a week, maybe 4 times a week. And it does not have to be high intensity, super heavy lifting. A lot of times we think, oh, we're talking about strength training, then it has to be like CrossFit, it has to be powerlifting. It actually does not. It does not. It can be like TRX training or bodyweight training. It can be lifting if you want to, but let's not think that this is the only thing. Now, I know that a lot of people who listen to this have hypothalamic amenorrhea, then this advice does not apply to you. Please stick with walking, stretching, yoga. This is going to be enough for you. I've seen it over and over how it takes so much longer to recover if we keep doing the strength training. Okay. Then for strength gains, if this is your goal, then we need more targeted and more progressive plan, right? Even for strength gains, you don't need to work out more than three times a week, 3, 4, let's say, if you have good energy. This is a myth that we have to go hard 6 days a week. Building strength, it's important to build strength gradually, starting with lighter weights or moderate weights, maybe even body weight, and build up week after week with some deload weeks in between. And then, especially as the weights get heavier, rest days between workout days are really important to recover. Okay. Now, if the goal is to lose weight, and this is kind of like the little, the area, kind of got to be careful with that. It's important to ask ourselves why this is important. Why do I lose weight? And what do I think will change when I lose weight? I'm not saying that nobody should ever want to lose weight. I am not saying that, but the why is super important here, right? And do you think your life would somehow change if you lost weight? Would you be happier, whatever? Or would you just like to see, just like maybe like out of curiosity, what happens, right? So a couple of months ago, or 3 months ago, maybe, I actually tried the hypertrophy program. Hypertrophy means muscle building program. And I tried it out, and I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. I just want to see like what happens to my body, but there's no attachment to the outcome. Like, oh, how much would I lose? Like, I didn't like measure myself or check like before and after picture. It's just like more like for fun, because I'm healthy, I can do it. But there's no like, oh, how much to lose, going crazy with it. Maybe you just want to play around and see what happens. And I think this is a cool goal. Now, when the weight loss is the goal, then be smart about your goals. There's nothing to want so badly. If you may think that low body fat percentage is awesome, or low body weight is awesome, but if you have to sacrifice your health and relationships, etc., to achieve that, there's nothing fun about that. I think most of us know that and have experienced that. And always put your health first. Pay attention to your body and how it reacts and responds, and always adjust as needed, especially if your goal is weight loss. Just be super careful with that. And another thing, do your workouts because they're fun, you enjoy them, you focus on health, and let go of unreasonable expectations, and you will look and feel your best. Seriously, like if you enjoy your workouts and you do them to be strong and be healthy, you will look and feel your best. And you may not have like, and I'm using air quotes here, dream weight, but let's just let go of that dream weight, right? Like last time we talked, let's let go of the numbers, and actually this is the way to feel really good about ourselves. We let go of those annoying numbers. All right, overall, before you work out, always check in with yourself. How am I feeling today? If your goal is not to burn yourself out, but still get some results, how am I feeling today? And to avoid to avoid burnout, pay attention to your energy before and after the workout, and also throughout the day. If you are like super exhausted after the workout, or if you feel energized after but then crash terribly an hour later, half an hour later, then there's something wrong. You either didn't eat enough, or you did too much, or something went wrong. So pay attention to that. Your energy throughout the day should still be pretty good. Pay attention to sleep. If that goes bad, then you probably have done too much. Some people are very sensitive to sleep when they overexercise. Of course, your menstrual cycle. Again, if you're a healthy person, not if you don't have HA, if you're a healthy person and then you start noticing changes in your menstrual cycle, that may be too much. Especially if you have actually experienced HA and you're more kind of might be a little more prone to that kind of stuff. Then keep your eye on it. Is your luteal phase still 12 to 14 days, or is it shorter? That there's important information there. Are you getting your periods? Are you ovulating? Then pay attention to your hunger and cravings. When we overexercise, we tend to be hungrier and crave stuff more. And then pay attention to mood too. We all know that doing too much just makes us like crankier, because we're hungry, we're tired, and we're irritable, but we still go to the gym and do this stuff, and our mood is crap. All right, on to the second question. How to improve my body composition but not get HA, hypothalamic amenorrhea again. So I believe most of you know what HA is, but if you don't know, HA is the situation where you lose your period because you're just stressed out from doing too much workouts, working out too intensely, and then not eating enough. So as a result, your period goes away. And this is a serious sign from the body that things are not going well. So how to improve your body composition but not get hypothalamic amenorrhea again. So I know a lot of women after hypothalamic amenorrhea or recovery want to get back to working out and just burn the belly fat again and get back to fit again. I want to ask you first, why do you want to change your body? What do you think will change as a result? Just like ask yourself that. Again, do you think your life will be better? You have better opportunities? What is the actual reason why you need to lose weight or change your body composition? And before you start doing any intense exercise to lose weight, keep in mind a couple of things. Avoid negative self-talk. Like throughout this process, it's never helpful to talk crap about yourself and to yourself. It's just never helpful. Don't ask others to validate you. Don't go to your partner like 7 times a day. Ask, do you think I'm losing something already? Is my stomach still too big? Is my butt shrinking already a little bit? Just like stop doing that. Okay, it's not your partner's job to validate you all the time. You got to know that you are a strong, confident woman. You're doing what's best for your health, right? Don't ask everybody to validate you. Then when it comes to social media, get people with all kinds of bodies, shapes, and sizes to your social media feed, right? So you see diversity. You don't only see those like bodybuilders, whoever, like super fit and lean people, because that totally messes with our perception, like messes with the our ideas how we should be too. So make sure you have all kinds of people there. Stop weighing and measuring yourself daily if you want to improve your body composition. We probably all have been there where we stepped on the scale every single morning and see if something has changed, or maybe took measurements or whatever. Doing it daily totally messes with your mind. So please don't do that. So when you do all these things, you actually may realize that you don't even need to change your body composition that badly as you thought. Don't force the weight loss. Some of the gained weight will come off naturally without pushing it at all. This is so true. After HA recovery, most women experience that. And I don't want to say it because just wait for a little bit and be patient and the fat will go away. I want you to still accept yourself the way you are right now. No, wherever you are is the right place for you. You will learn something from it and everything's going to be good eventually. You just need boatload of patience, right? And don't force the weight loss. Most people lose a little bit after. I've lost, most of my clients have lost a little bit after, but it may take longer than you think. However, as a result of your hunger stabilizing and your hormones being healthier, some of the weight will fall off, but it will usually take like 1 or 2 years to actually stabilize. And by the way, when I mean stabilize, it does not mean that you're going back to your pre-recovery weight. Let's say that you started at 135 pounds or like 62 kilograms, and then you gained like 30 pounds or 15 kilograms, and now you're like, okay, done, got this box checked, now let's go back to 135 pounds or 62 kilograms. Does not work that way. right? You don't want to go back to your pre-recovery weight. There was a reason for why you lost your period, and the reason was low body fat and low weight. Okay, so if you are recovered and really think that, okay, I could maybe change my body composition a little bit, you can think and consider, you can think about it, consider it. If you are eating regular, you don't skip meals and restrict calories. So you want to make sure your mind is really healthy. You're not going start like messing with these old things again. If you realize that virtually nothing will change as a result of weight loss other than weight loss, and that's really it, right? Weight loss itself does not guarantee better life. It's okay to consider some weight loss if you really have no need to gain more weight, so you actually are stabilized. And then the next one, I'm also going to say with a little bit like, I don't want to give you like specific numbers, but this is just like a rough, idea. If you've had at least 4 or 5 healthy cycles, then you may consider some. But I got to say that, again, don't take it as a hard rule that, okay, I had 4 cycles, now the fat loss begins. Not like that, but if you want to tweak a few things, which I'm going to talk about in the next slide, at least 4 or 5 healthy cycles. I said you need a lot of patience, right? And even then, don't make huge changes to your workout or eating routine, and start simple. I put the link here to my Simple Strength for Women program, which is a bodyweight program designed specifically for women after HA who want to get stronger again, improve their health, and get fitter again. So this is a really good starting program, and literally everybody who has tried this program has had really good results. So I really highly recommend that instead of taking like a whatever like a HIIT or whatever lifting program from the internet, because this one is designed specifically for women after HA. So that's why I recommend it. Okay, so now one more thing about how to improve my body composition but not get HA again. The main thing in body composition change is the diet, and I'm using it as a noun, right? Diet, not verb, to diet, right? I don't want anyone to diet. So a couple of things you can change in a diet. Bring back the vegetables. So a lot of people who have had HA, started eating more kind of like heavier foods and maybe less vegetables when they were in the recovery process, because they need a lot of calories, and that was great, awesome thing to do, exactly as it was supposed to be. But then you can bring back the vegetables to make sure that you get all the vitamins, and also they're a little bit lighter, so they may help you a little bit with the body composition change. Then eat protein, because that's super filling. Out of 3 macronutrients, this is the most filling and satiating. Listen to your hunger, satiety, and fullness. So eat when you're moderately hungry and stop when you're moderately full. Again, one thing that happens in HA is that sometimes we learn to overeat a little bit, which is totally fine when we have HA. We need the calories, but later this habit kind of sticks a little bit. And then now when we think back, okay, if I want to change my body a little bit, maybe I start listening to myself and stop when I'm moderately full. I don't need to eat way past my satiety anymore. And also stay hydrated, which does not mean drinking instead of eating, right? It does not mean that you drink like 3 liters of water before you eat, and then you're like, oh, I'm actually full. I'm only going to eat like a tiny cup of something, right? No, it does not mean that, but overall stay hydrated. And then strength training helps to shape the body too. You can do it, 2 to 4 days a week if you want to kind of, get more muscle definition. And when you're making any changes after HA, pay close attention to your cycle and symptoms. Are you exhausted? How is your sleep? Do you have obsessive thoughts around food and fitness? You're feeling cold, your energy is low. If these things start coming back that you had when you had HA, then this is a good indicator that, hey, I've gone too far. Let's take a step back and see what we need to change to start feeling better again and make these symptoms go away. Okay, next question was really interesting. How do I allow myself to rest without gaining weight and becoming obese? So the first thing I want to say about that is taking rest days does not mean becoming obese. And it may not even mean weight gain, right? It's not true. I don't know where it comes from, like everybody who does not exercise is automatically obese, because this is not true, okay? Our metabolism isn't a calculator where you add and subtract numbers and it gives you a specific like one result. It's not like I eat this many and I burn this many, then I could get this outcome. It does not work like that. Our metabolism is way more flexible, and there's many like other things. So calories matter, yes, of course, but also hormones matter. So if you're really stressed out because we do so much exercise, that's really messing with our hormones. If our hormones are not balanced, then you know the weight is not going to be stable either. And then when the hormones are healthy, it's much easier to maintain a healthy weight without having to exercise a ton. And this is like I know this is like a total newsflash for a lot of people. They just don't realize that you don't have to exercise a ton to maintain your health. It's just not the case. Because working out too much or too intensely or too frequently can be very stressful for our hormones, especially if we don't recover well, even if quote unquote the math is right, like I talked about the calculator. It can be like, all right, like I ate 15 or let's say like 1200 calories and I burned 1200, then my weight should be stable. Or when I even burn more than I eat, then my weight should drop. But it's not always like that, right? The metabolism is not a calculator. It's more like it swings, like there's change in one end, then the other is gonna reflect that. It's not really a calculator. Some people experience weight gain even when they eat 900 calories a day and do 2-3 hours of exercise a day. So this is the point where we really messed up our bodies. So it is not true that more exercise equals smaller body weight or whatever. Watch this interview here. You can click. I don't know if it's not clickable when you watch the video, but you can. I'm gonna send actually the slides, but you can Google my name, Kirsten Kimura, and Danny J, and you find this interview with my friend Danny J, who experienced exactly that. She was doing fitness competitions. She ate 900 calories a day, worked out 3 hours a day, and then she was gaining weight because her hormones were just so upside down, right? So it's like the idea that we have to work out hard to avoid weight gain can be totally opposite, can be totally upside down if we have done enough damage to our hormones. When we overtrain, our bodies are in constant alert mode, especially if we don't rest enough, right? And they're producing a lot of stress hormones, and results are fatigue, cravings, exhaustion, but possibly also hard time sleeping, feeling like never getting enough sleep, storing body fat, and etc. So you can find that again in the same video. It's super good. I really like this one. So again, it's Kirsten Kimura and then Danny J, Danny J. Okay, you can find it when you Google it. Okay, so there's a secret to working out and maintaining a healthy weight, and I think you all want to know it. Exercise enough, but not too much. Move plenty and rest and recover well. This is actually all there is, right? Exercise enough, but not too much. Move plenty. Remember we talked about movement before. Rest and recover well. We often neglect the rest and recovery part because we think only if we do more we get somewhere. No, like health and fit, like physically, mentally healthy and fit person does it that way, right? They do rest. So if they may work out intensely, yes, but they also take the rest very seriously. When we stop doing too much, too intense, too frequent workouts and we do moderate workouts instead, also the hunger normalizes. And if the hunger normalizes, there will be no need to burn the food off anymore. Okay. All right. I hope this was clear, and we can move on to the next one. Okay. The next question was, I compensate for overeating with exercise. How do I stop doing that? First, I'd like you to define overeating. What is it? And are you actually overeating, or you just think you're overeating? So I'm going to give you a couple of examples what overeating does not look like, but because our perception is so twisted, we may think that these things are overeating. So for example, what overeating isn't? Eating 600 calories on one meal. So if you've been doing like, oh, I can only eat like 250, or I can eat 300 calories a day, then, or not today, but on one meal, then eating 600 may seem like an enormous amount of overeating, but it is not. It is not overeating. Then eating a sandwich for some people may be like overeating because they've been used to eating like bowls of salad only. Or having a bowl of ice cream may seem like overeating, although it isn't. It's normal to have ice cream once in a while. So even if these things are more than what you usually eat, they're not overeating and they're definitely not binging. Okay, it's important to know that. our understanding of what's normal may be twisted because we followed dieting rules for a long time and we don't know any other way, right? Exactly like the examples that I have here. These are all like dieting stories here, like, oh, eating 300 calories is too much, or eating a sandwich instead of salad is a crime. These things are not crime. These are not too much, and you're not overeating. Realize that you maybe did not did not overeat at all. And if you really did overeat to the point of physical discomfort, ask yourself why it happened, right? And realize, okay, what was the reason? And I want you to notice that if you have hypothalamic amenorrhea, it's normal to overeat sometimes because your body is craving stuff so badly. You've been starving yourself for a long time, months, maybe years. So it's normal to overeat. Your body needs that. I'm talking to mostly, healthy people who don't have HA, but if they overeat, ask yourself why it happened, right? For healthy people, so just some recommendations like how to not overeat. Then eat when you're moderately hungry. Don't let yourself to go like extremely hungry so that can't stop yourself. Stop when you're moderately full and when you're feeling satisfied. Don't skip meals. For most people, I would say for most women, fasting, like super long breaks between meals, tend not to work. Of course, there are exceptions, but in general, don't skip meals. And then have your favorite snacks once in a while or treats so you don't feel deprived. And avoid too much, too intense, too long, and too frequent exercise, right? Because that can also super ramp up the appetite, and then we are stuck in this cycle, like having to undo the eating again. And when you do all these things, then your hunger stays pretty stable and mostly predictable, and there's no need to work off anything, right? Okay, if you really overate to the point of discomfort, what do? Take it as a lesson and ask, okay, why did this happen? And then if you're really full, then if you feel like moving your body after overeating, just do it. Maybe like go for a walk. That's probably the best thing to do. Do it because it makes you feel better. You don't have to like the next day go and like beat yourself up in the gym because you're over it. Just move on, think why it happened. Maybe you skipped meals, learn from it. Don't skip meals then, and then you will be fine. So no need to beat yourself up. Don't exercise to undo the damage, just like I said. Doing so only reinforces the overtraining and binging cycle, plus creates this negative association with exercise. Like exercise should be fun and healthy and cool and happy thing to do, not like, oh, I gotta do this, like to fucking punish myself for eating ice cream. This puts this such a negative kind of emotion to exercise that's very, very, very unhealthy. Your mindset is very unhealthy if you think that way. And avoid negative self-talk and simply move on. All right, how to rest without feeling guilty. All right, I love this question, and I think I do have a good answer. All right, so what are your reasons for working out? Are they only weight and fat loss focused, or are your reasons health and performance focused? This is an important thing because if your focus is only on weight and fat loss, you need better goals, because these goals feed the feelings of punishment and then failure. And they also come with strict rules, like you have to do things this way and you can't do this way. It's like, yeah, there's so many rules. Whereas, when you do things for health, it's like, okay, I do what feels better for me on a given day. And they're not so hard rules. So overall, it's so much healthier to work out for health reasons. Know that your workouts are only as good as your rest days. I don't remember who said that. But I think it was Liz Wolf. Yes, she's like, your workouts are only as good as your recovery or something like that. And it's so true. Like I said earlier too, the fittest, strongest people are the ones who take their workout seriously, yes, but they also take their rest extremely seriously. And without proper rest, there will be no progress. So now, rest is so critical for the body to be able to repair its tissues and bring our stress hormones down and build strength and muscle and come back stronger. And now, if we're tired, right, if you're physically tired, just like, and also the thought of like going and working out feels like bad, I just don't want to go. But if you refuse to take rest days, it means that it's okay to keep hurting your body. You're like, all right, cool, I'm going to keep hurting my body. And why would you do that? So why are we okay? And this is my answer to this question: how to rest without feeling guilty. I'm going to answer with another question: why are we okay making our bodies more exhausted and sick? But why do we feel guilty for giving them proper rest? It does not make any sense, right? Don't we want good things for our bodies, right? If we really want good things for our bodies, then we should really rest, because they're clearly telling us this is what I need, and there should be no guilt associated with a good thing, because resting is a good thing, right? I hope it makes sense. Okay, question number 6. I don't feel like working out. Am I actually tired or just lazy? Someone asked me that on Instagram the other day. How do I know that I'm not just not being lazy, right? Because again, like coming back to the very beginning of the presentation where I said, oh, we have these fears of like seen as, first overweight, but also seen as like lazy or not disciplined or not perfect. This is the same thing, right? How do I know that I'm not just lazy? Because it sounds like being lazy is the worst thing. So my advice here, how do you know if you're tired or if you're lazy, is to listen to your intuition. Your intuition really talks to you, right? So if you don't know, if you're like, should I go to the gym? Should I not go? You're kind of like going back and forth. Just take a couple of minutes and sit down and be like, okay, should I work out today? Just be quiet. Ask yourself, the answer will come. Listen to the answer. And then don't try to overpower the answer with what you think should be the right answer. So let's say that, you are tired and your body's like, I just want to lie down on the couch. It's just like read a book. I don't feel like going to the gym. But then you think that this is a bad choice because like in your mind, like, I gotta burn calories. And then you start like overpowering this thing. And you're like, okay, this is the right thing to do. And we're just gonna like suppress this intuition. And then we go work out and overtrain again and get hurt again, right? So it's actually really simple. The intuition talks to you. Deep inside, you know what the right things to do. This is a different story if you actually listen to it. And it's your intuition talking to you. We should listen to it. All right. And how do you know which one is the intuitive voice and which one is the hard kind of like the you have to voice? Which one should you listen to? So the thing is that your intuitive voice is kind to you, and your perfectionist voice, which is usually like the eating disorder voice or the hypothalamic amenorrhea voice, it's harsh and tells you to work out no matter what, right? So this voice never tells you to rest. It's always like burn more calories, build better whatever stuff like legs or whatever. You gotta do it, right? But when you listen to your intuition, you're able to hear the difference. And it's not that your intuition always tells you to rest. So don't be afraid of that. Don't be like, oh, what if it's always going to tell me that don't go? It's not the case, right? Your intuition tells you what's best thing for you, because there are a lot of days when you are going to be like feeling energized and ready for a hard work, and then you go and do it. Sometimes your intuition says, yes, girl, let's go do it, right? And then you go do it. So it's not that it's always kind of like, let's just stay home and do nothing always, right? And it's important to start noticing these different voices, and this is how you know, if you're like tired or if you're just like quote unquote lazy. If you feel tired but you want to kind of deny it, it might be helpful to see the evidence for why you might feel this way. So look back to your week or maybe a couple of days, and to see, you can even write it down. Did you have a lot of stress yesterday or last week? Did you wake up really early all week long? Did you already work out a ton this week? I mean, sure, if this is true, then you probably are tired. Like, why are you trying to fight it? Where are you in your cycle? If you have a functional menstrual cycle, which I hope you do, then we tend to be more tired in the luteal phase, which is the second half of the cycle, from the ovulation period. This is where we tend to kind of slow down. Our bodies naturally crave slower movements like walk, stretching, yoga, that kind of stuff. It's not to say that you should never like lift weights or run in the second half of your cycle. Absolutely not. But just like pay attention. You're like, why am I more tired? And you're like, oh yeah, I just ovulated a week ago. Duh, that's right. My period's coming in 1 week. This is the reason. And that's fine. You don't have to still like go and force yourself to the gym. Just give yourself a break. Maybe you ate some foods that don't work for your body and made you feel sluggish and tired. And if that happens, just don't beat yourself up. Just learn from it. Okay, maybe this thing really doesn't work for me and make me feel super heavy and like sluggish, and just learn from it. Everything is a lesson. You can see things that happen as like, oh, like a big drama. Oh, why did this happen? And now I have to go and undo it and blah, blah, blah. Or you can see it as a lesson. Okay, what did I learn from it? And sometimes there's no really like clear reason for feeling blah about working out. Sometimes you just feel tired. You may not have like a clear like answer on the paper, like why this happened. You were just tired, and that's it. That's fine. And also, there's nothing scary about being lazy. Sometimes it's completely fine to be lazy. You're not a worse person for taking time off without specific reason. You just don't need, like, you don't owe any any answers to anyone, including, you know, yourself. Like, why? You just don't feel like it, and this is perfectly fine too. Okay, now how do I know how to work out on a given day? Because days are different, right? So this is probably from somebody who wants to tap into more like intuitive training, but just to know like how to trust myself, how do I know, and maybe wants some kind of like structure, like how do I know that this is the case? You know, like I should work out this way, not the other way. So for that, use the traffic light method, and I talk about this in the Simple Strength for Women too. I'm gonna sip water. I talk about it in this program too. Ask yourself, is it a red, yellow, or green day for me today? And red day means that one or more of the following is happening. You're physically exhausted. Your last night's sleep or several nights sleep has been bad, meaning less than 6 hours, or very, very like inconsistent. You haven't eaten much today and your energy is low. You're injured or you're really sore. It hurts to move your body, or you're sick. Then rest. It can be one of these symptoms. It can be all of them. Rest. Your symptoms will not go away if you keep working out. It's so important to keep that in mind. Sometimes people think, oh, it's just like power through it and it gets better. When has it gotten better? Like if you're extremely exhausted, your body's aching and hurting, you're like, I'm gonna do this workout. Like, do you feel better? It may wake you up for a second, but it's not gonna help you recover. It's just not. Okay. All right. This is the red day when you're like, okay, I'm gonna rest. Now, yellow day is when one or more of the following is happening. So let's say you feel physically, you're moderately tired, a little bit tired, but not completely fatigued. You have moderate to high mental, emotional stress. Your sleep last night or several nights in a row has been okay, but not great. So roughly like 7 hours, maybe a little bit inconsistent, but you know, you've been able to sleep still. Your meals haven't been great, but you still have enough energy to move your body a little bit. And then you have some muscle soreness, but nothing major going on. Then your thing to do that day is movement. So go for a walk or do like a moderate workout. You can also cut your workout in half if you need to. Say you plan to do like a circuit of, you know, whatever 8 exercises, 3 rounds of that. Then just like do the first one and see how you feel. And maybe you're like, okay, you know, I'm pretty tired. I'm gonna stop here. You did something, you didn't do all of it. That's okay. Remember to tell this perfectionist voice to just like go home and you know, just like let you be, because you don't have to complete the workout if you feel tired. There's also a much higher risk of getting injured. So why do that? You can also just stretch your foam roll instead of doing a high, you know, intense workout, or, you know, it's this like in between state, right? You can do something, but you don't have to do the whatever you were planning, right? And then the last one is going to be what we all want to have all the time, is a green day, when one or more of the following is happening. Your sleep was good and you woke up refreshed. You feel fully recovered from your last workout. You have no muscle soreness, pain, or injuries. Your mental and emotional stress is moderate or less than moderate. Less than moderate, I mean, you know, below, better. Then you've been eating regularly and you feel energized. You're looking forward to your workout. Then work out. Go and work out. Do whatever you were planning. Lift heavy, run fast, whatever your body's ready for. Today is a good day for it, right? So when you're thinking, how do I work out today? Then just go through this like quick assessment. Okay, it's a red day, it's a yellow day, it's a green day. How do you sleep? How have you been eating? How are you feeling? And then do the workout based on that. Okay, I hope this is clear. All right, next thing, I want to work out intuitively, but I also want to follow a workout plan. How do I do that? So first of all, I think it's really cool that you want to work out intuitively, trust yourself a little bit more. And I don't think there's anything bad in following your workout plan. Now, the question is like, how do I put these two together? Isn't it like counterintuitive to be intuitive and also follow a plan? I don't think it is. So let's talk about these things separately. Intuitive training, Intuitive training is based on listening to your body's signs and using the traffic light colors, just like I said before, like thinking, feeling, kind of doing little like evaluation, how am I feeling, and do the things based on that. The critical voice, the HA voice or the ED voice in your head might say, but you should do X workout to burn more calories, right? But your intuitive voice might say something different. Like I said before, you just sit down and listen, okay, what is the thing? What am I hearing, right? And then decide like that. How do you know the difference between the intuitive voice and the critical voice? Like I said before, the intuitive voice is always kind and caring, and the critical voice is, like the name says, it's critical, it's harsh, it's judgmental, it never leaves you alone. It always tells you push harder. But we can't go with this voice, right? You gotta go with the intuitive voice. Now, this was about the intuitive training. Now, following a plan, remember the saying from our last week's workshop, if you were listening, absorb what's useful, ditch what's useless, and add what's uniquely yours. So we use this when we're talking about food and following other people's diet rules. So we take what feels good for us, we don't take what feels useless to us, and we add what's uniquely ours. Same thing true with following a workout plan. It's totally fine to have a workout plan, but we have to be able to adjust it as needed. So this is where the intuition comes in, right? We're going to remove the things that don't work for us, and we possibly add in things that work better for us. So you can combine the plan and you can with the intuition. And then if you have to make changes to your workout plan, do it without criticizing or judging yourself. I know how most women are. They're so like, oh, but I have to. Otherwise I'm weak. I don't have willpower. I don't follow through, blah, blah, blah. You are always doing the right thing when you're following your body signal. And that's it. Okay. So a couple of examples here, how, the workout plan may say a certain thing, may tell you a certain thing to do, but you don't quite feel like it. So how would you go about it? So a couple of examples here. The plan says to do deadlifts, but my back hurts. So what do you do then, right? So you can do bridges on the floor, for example, or do another back and hamstring exercise, like similar muscle groups. But without added weights. So you don't deadlift, you just do floor exercise instead. If that doesn't help, skip the back exercise altogether and let your back heal. It's extremely silly to push through pain and hope that it gets better when you do things through pain. No, it's not a good idea. Then what if the plan says to do 10 hill sprints today, but you started out already tired, and after the third one you felt that it's not going well? Well, then stop there and recover. Do the full 10 sprints when you're ready, right? Rest and recover. Everything's going to feel much better when you're actually recovered. If the plan says to do 3 rounds of the circuit, but you're already not feeling, but you're not feeling it at all, then go ahead and see if you feel better after the first round. Just do the first round, see how it goes. Sometimes it feels fine after the first one. Other times it feels like, nope, not going to do it. And if it's nope, I'm not going to do it, then this first round was all you did today. And this is perfectly fine, right? If the plan says to try to lift my maximum weight today, but I didn't sleep well last night at all. So please do yourself, sirs, don't pick up a heavy barbell or do like extreme hard workout if you didn't sleep well last night. You just set yourself up for an injury. You're probably not going to hit your PR, and then you're going to be like, feel bad about yourself, like, oh, I'm so weak and the training is not paying off. It is if you're resting and recovering well. So you won't do well until you have slept really well, and then you can try a maximum lift, okay? So what if the plan says to run today, but I feel like my body's really tight and running would make it even tighter? Then you're gonna maybe skip your run into yoga. You go to class, or you can do it at home. Just like try to let go of this, oh, but then I don't burn calories. This is okay. Remember, it's not only about calories, it's also about our hormones. If you're extremely tired and you still like keep pushing and pushing and pushing, this is going to throw your hormones off balance, right? Especially if you're not sleeping enough, you're not eating enough. It's a combination of things. Okay, we have a couple of more questions. First one is, how much should I really exercise to be healthy? Okay, great question again. So from a health perspective, I would say that frequent movement is more important than structured exercise. I think if most people like walked more and found like ways to just move their bodies, all of us would be way more healthier. So my advice would be walk most days, right? See if you could sometimes, walk or ride your bike somewhere instead of driving, small things. But it's important that, that make sure that this doesn't become obsessive too. Just recently I had somebody ask me who's in HR recovery, is it okay if I walk 30,000 steps a day when I'm in recovery? And this is a sign of like, okay, things have gone really obsessive here, right? The walking should be like natural and normal. We should like not obsessively track every step and think, oh, did we hit 30,000? By the way, 30,000 steps per day, if you are like recovering from HA, if you do them like uphill and like crazy hikes, then this is too much. The goal isn't to move more if you're already exercising a lot. So keep that in mind too. If you are, doing like 6 workouts a day and you're like, oh, but Kirsten said that I should add a lot of movement. I'm going to stop driving and start walking everywhere. So this is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like maybe cutting back on those high intensity, high volume exercise and do a little bit of movement instead, not just like, adding to what you're already doing. This is what I'm talking about, okay? If you exercise 4, 5, or more times a week intensely, know that for your health, it's not necessary. You can take more rest days and you can simply move more and you'll be perfectly fine, okay? So what counts as movements? Walking, taking stairs, doing work around the house, taking out the trash, gardening, etc., etc. This is all movement. Yes. Movement keeps the muscles, joints, and heart healthy. And the burnout, which we talked about earlier, like how to work out without burning myself out, the burnout is much less likely when we just move enough and not necessarily like exercise like crazy. So I want to say that I don't think that there's anything bad in exercising 5, 6 times a week if you recover well, if you sleep well, if you really feel that, okay, I'm doing it for the right reasons. I want to get stronger. I want to get healthier. But at the same time, it's not like necessary. We don't have to do that much if we truly want to be healthy. This is our goal. Okay. It is good to do some strength exercise and muscle care type of exercise. I'm going to talk about what I mean in a second. This recommendation again is for healthy people. If you have hypothalamic amenorrhea, rest. I'm not telling you just do strength exercise. I just heard actually recently that someone reached out on Instagram, told me that, but I see all these people on YouTube telling that strength exercise is extremely important to recover from hypothalamic amenorrhea. I was like, wait a minute, where is this information coming from? I don't know. I personally don't think this is correct. I've seen people recovering much faster if they stop strength training. But I do think that, movement and joint and muscle care is very, very important, especially if you're more sedentary, right? Strength. Okay, so I'm going to kind of like do a little kind of backstory to that next point. And the next point is strength. It's important to keep the bones and muscles strong for stability, balance, strength, and staying independent as we age. So the reason why I put it here is that the other day, again, on Instagram, I shared that I do think that for most healthy people, it's a healthy thing to work out, to do like some form of strength training 3 or 4 times a week. And this person said, oh, I don't think this is necessary at all. Why are you recommending it? And I just want to say that, in my opinion, strength is important for these exact reasons that I mentioned here, for stability, for balance, for strength, for staying independent as we age. Like everybody knows that as we age, we lose strength and stability. So it's not a bad thing to keep doing strength workouts. It's a bad thing if we get obsessive with it. And the problem is, and I get really fired up when I hear people say, a lot of people who have come from this like super high training and under eating background, and they are now recovered from all the issues that were caused by this lifestyle. Now then they are on the other end of the spectrum, and they go like, actually strength training doesn't matter, like no training matters, you can eat everything and just lie down all day and do nothing, and this is fine. And to me, I would say, yes, this is great for HA recovery, but one day we're going to be recovered from HA. What happens then? We have to, in my opinion, we have to get back to a little bit of strength. I highly recommend, let's put it that way, getting back to moderate mindful strength training, right? And again, working where I work right now chiropractic clinic, I work there as a group fitness trainer. I see a lot of people coming in with extremely poor core strength, extremely poor like spinal stability. And these are all issues that are caused by not moving, right? And so we cannot deny that strength training is important for us. It's just a matter of how we do it. Strength training does not mean doing 6 CrossFit workouts a week. This is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the sweet spot between overtraining and then not doing anything. Okay, I got a little bit off the plan here, but that's fine. It was like something on my heart. I just had to share this, okay? Yeah, so just what I said, strength training does not have to look like HIIT training, CrossFit, etc., but it should be smart strength training. The focus should really be on strengthening the body, not beating it down. We want to make it stronger. We don't want to beat it down, okay? So our goal with strength training should be to get stronger, to feel good, and it's easier to make right decisions when we keep these things in mind, okay? Is this making me stronger? Is this feeling me better, making me feel better, or no? And this is how you decide what you do, how much you do. Okay, so some questions to ask yourself regarding exercise. So if my shoulder is injured, for example, does lifting a barbell overhead really help me get stronger? Does it? Okay, we can all answer that. If my squat form isn't good, is it really helpful to do squats with heavy kettlebell or barbell, right? If, for example, we know that our knees are like caving in and, we don't have that stability and we see it in a mirror or the trainer says that, it's not a good idea to grab a heavy barbell and put it on our shoulders. If I haven't slept at night, does lifting weights or running for an hour actually make me stronger? So I think we all know the answer. It's super important to ask these questions because our goal, remember, is to be healthy, right? So let's listen to our bodies. The bodies don't lie. Okay, I want to offer just a simple exercise structure for most healthy people. I want to say healthy people, okay? Daily movement, like I talked about before, walking, stairs, taking out trash, gardening, walking your dog, whatever. Speaking of dogs, there's a really loud one outside. I don't know if you can hear it. Smart strength training, roughly like 3 days a week, full body, but special attention to areas that need most attention. What it is for you, I don't know. For most people, based on my work, what I see is core, it's around the spine, it's the knees, shoulders, actually also that need strengthening. You can do great work with like TRX or body weight or Pilates or some dumbbells. It doesn't have to look like anything super crazy and intense, right? So what I mean by muscle care, I'd like to see most people do some kind of muscle care. So yoga, maybe a couple of times a week. You don't even have to go to a studio. There are great videos on YouTube. But regular foam rolling and stretching, these things are really important, especially because we're sitting quite a bit, right? And our postures are not the best. So these things are really good. And also, if you like yoga, for example, more than you like strength training, by all means, go and do more yoga. That's fine, right? This is just a recommendation that I'm offering here. Now, this advice is not for people with HA, and I feel I have to say it every now and then so people don't, go and like say, oh, but she said that I got to do strength training 3 times a week. If you have HA, don't do it. And this is the whole thing here. This is a suggestion, this is a recommendation. Remember, every plan should be adjustable to your needs, and you are the one who's making those adjustments, right? You know your body well. Just listen to your body and get to know it, okay? Then, I have 2 9s here. Sorry, I don't know how it happened. I wonder if this is the last one or if there's one more after this. Okay, yes, okay, it looks like there are 2 questions, number 9, but that's fine. Okay, so another 9, which is technically then 10, is the question was that, wait a second, let's get back there. Is it wrong to want weight loss or physique change? Is it a wrong thing? So, a lot of us are finding the body positivity community, which is a great thing. And then, but following that type of stuff may make us feel like, but I'm a bad person now if I want to lose weight or change my physique. I want to say that you don't have to feel bad for wanting something, right? There's enough of beating ourselves up for things, so don't beat yourself up for that. Now, I want to say weight loss or physique change is not a bad goal if it doesn't harm our physical and mental health. super critical if it doesn't harm our physical and mental health. So how do you know that it is harming your physical health? A couple of signs here: you're constantly tired and you don't recover from your workout. So when we do like everything for weight loss, right, we go crazy with it, and then we start feeling so tired, we don't recover, then it is harming your physical health. Also, if your sleep gets bad, your menstrual cycle gets longer, or you stop ovulating, or your menstrual cycle disappears altogether, also known as HA, then things are bad, and your weight loss goal or physique change goal was like too hardcore, right? You should not go there. Okay? If your muscles are constantly sore, or if you're injured, you're getting weaker and not stronger, these are all signs that, you know, your weight loss goal, or even like whatever reason that you're working out, is harming your physical health. There's also a lot of things that harm our mental health if you go too far with our weight loss goal. All you think about is weight loss every single day. You weigh and measure yourself all the time, right? You compare yourself to others and you're never satisfied with how you look. And this is a very interesting paradox. Like we think that, oh, if I only get to that, you know, that X number on the scale, I'm so happy with myself. Honestly, we're not. We're just not. Okay. If you weigh and measure yourself every day and obsess over this number or these numbers, this is a sign of, you know, that's negatively affecting us. If we feel guilty for skipping workouts, if we work out to burn or earn our calories, and if we're missing out on friends and family time because our workouts are always our highest priority no matter what, that means that we have gone too far with our weight loss goals. Okay. Ask yourself, are my goals, my weight loss goals, actually healthy and reasonable? So for example, you're like, oh, I want to lose 15 pounds. Is this healthy and reasonable for you? Again, you know, a lot of people here with hypothalamic amenorrhea say, you're like, I want to lose these 15 pounds. You probably know very well where it's going to take you. So think, is it actually healthy for me, right? Also ask, why do I want to achieve that goal? What does it give me? When my goal is weight loss, how did I come up with this perfect weight number that I have in mind? And also, is it reasonable for me? So it's so interesting how we think that I just decided that I'm going to be this weight. And I did the same thing. Like when I was in Weight Watchers 2007, I was like, okay, I had gained up to like 74 kilograms. I'm from Europe where we use kilograms. So I think it's, what is that? It's like 167, 66, something that pounds. And I was that weight when I started, and I was like, I have to be 62 kilograms. This is my goal. 62 kilograms, roughly 135 pounds, right? I don't know where I got it from. Maybe I got it from like, because in high school, I was 62 kilograms, so I have to get back there. Or I don't even know what it was based on. I think I also looked at the BMI. I was like, oh, I want to stay in this healthy range, but like on the lower end of it. But like, there's no like actual reason, right? Because we know that BMI is, someone said it really well. They said it's a bullshit measurement index. You know, it doesn't tell you the truth about your health. So think, where did I come up with this number? Like, is it even reasonable for me? And then after HA, if you want to lose weight or change your physique, ask yourself, am I doing it at a reasonable pace? So if you are, you know, one of these people who just, oh yeah, I got my pure back, on to like high intensity exercises again, like 5 days a week, go hard, and don't eat anything. Of course, bad things are gonna happen. You know, you gotta be aware what happens if you rush the process and go to extremes with it, right? So I want to say one more time that weight loss and physique change goals are not bad. So there's no need to judge yourself for having them, but make sure you want these things for the right reasons, and you don't get too attached to them. Okay, keep your physical and mental health in check all the time. All right, now we're getting actually to the 10th question, or which is actually the 11th question, and that is, I still feel like I have to earn my calories. How do I change that? And this is actually similar to what we talked about last week. You know, I just want to emphasize again that every living being needs and uses calories just to exist, whether or not we work out, okay? That's why we don't have to earn our food. Just being, just breathing, digesting, sweating, laughing, talking, reading, even just like listening to this workshop, you are burning energy. So you don't have to earn anything extra, okay? So a lot of times people attempt to eat less than their BMR, or the basal metabolic rate, which is the number of calories, roughly the number of calories we need to be alive, right? So don't try to eat below that. You're gonna get yourself in trouble. All right, our metabolism is like, there's so many things in our metabolism. It's our digestion, body temperature maintenance and regulation, heartbeat and respiration. Like metabolism, to keep metabolism running, it takes energy. Even thinking takes energy, right? And these things make up about 60-70% of our daily expenditure. That's a lot. So you don't have to earn anything. Okay. And if you don't eat enough, these functions will downregulate. This is how we end up with, in quotes, sluggish metabolism, or kind of like not clear thinking, brain fog, menstrual issues, all these things, right? When we try to eat less than that. So again, there's no need to earn anything. If we listen to our bodies and eat according to these signals, we don't overeat generally, right? And that's why there's no need to punish ourselves with exercise, because you didn't do anything bad, right? If you're normal with food, you don't skip meals, you eat until you're full, then you don't really have to punish yourself. Okay. Important to listen to our bodies. And then, we talked about the intentions and intuition last week. These are the keys to eating just the right amount. Okay, and again, remember that hypothalamic amenorrhea and eating disorders are different. You have to eat more food than you may feel like. This is just the nature of these conditions and ways to get better. Remember that in hypothalamic amenorrhea, food is your medicine. It's not optional, right? You're not like, oh, I don't feel like taking a medicine, I'm not going to take it. You're not going to get better either, right? Okay, there's no need to control the food by exercising hard. Same is true for fasting. You don't have to fast to control the food. You don't have to do cleanses to control the food. None of that is required. You just gotta eat until you're full, the things that you really enjoy, and then stop when you're full. And the making up with exercise, depending on exercise, it may actually make us hungrier and cause more cravings. And I put the same cycle here that I showed you last week about earning your calories. So this is like the vicious cycle, how things go if we just try to make up for eating all the time, with exercise all the time. So the first kind of quarter, we do a hard workout to control our calories, and we say ourselves, if I do this hard workout, I will earn my food, right? Then we move on to the second quarter, which is, oh, it worked. I'm not hungry. So I suppressed my hunger. Cool, right? Then we move on to the third quarter, which is extreme hunger. And we ask ourselves, oh, why do I have cravings? Why am I never full? What's wrong with me? And then the fourth quarter is going to be, I overate. I couldn't stop eating. Now I have to make up for it. And we go back to these hard workouts to control calories, and the cycle begins again. So you don't have to earn anything. See how it's actually a repeating cycle that gets you in trouble over and over and over again, the same kind of trouble, okay? So the solution to that is just keep your workouts moderate so your cravings don't go through the roof. Eat until you're full. Don't skip your meals, and everything will be fine, okay? Fluctuations in caloric needs are totally normal. If you ate too much one day, just move on, because next day you probably need less, okay? Menstrual cycle, activity level, mental emotional stress, work, all these things make a difference in our appetite. Some days it's higher appetite, some days it's lower. Not all days look the same. When the healthy metabolism is restored, then occasional overeating does not cause you weight gain, like instantly. You're not gonna like, oh, I ate a bar of chocolate, I'm like, tomorrow like 10 pounds heavier. It doesn't happen that way, right? Because the body learns to balance itself. Again, I'm talking about a healthy metabolism. When we eat regularly, we eat all macronutrients, we eat a variety of foods, and we will not binge. Then we will not binge, right? We eat regularly, we eat all macros, we eat variety of foods, then there will generally be no binging, generally. And when the metabolism is healthy, it's also much more flexible. We can not only have our cake, but actually eat it too, right? Again, it doesn't magically turn into fat overnight. Okay, A couple of words to sum everything up. Uh, Pay more attention to your body signs when it comes to exercise. What does it want and need? What kind of exercise I want and need? How has my sleep been? How has my stress been? All these things help you decide, like, how should I work out today? Am I injured often? Why is it? Actually, one thing I want to say, that if you find yourself injured a lot, one reason might be that you're overdoing and your body just can't handle this load all the time. But the other thing might be your body is telling you that it's time to slow down, because you're not slowing down yourself. So your body pretty much gives you an injury and tells you, right, you gotta slow down because now you can't move. I just made you slow down, right? So pay attention to that. How's your menstrual cycle? Are things going there? Do you have it? Do you ovulate? Um, and then just a couple of more things to finish with, and always keep in mind that healthy exercise doesn't mean doing as much as possible. It doesn't mean being constantly exhausted. It doesn't mean burning more calories. This is not what healthy exercise is about. This is not health and strength focused exercise. If your only goals are burning more, beating yourself up, like limping home from the gym because you're so beat up, like this is not what exercise should look like. Okay. Health may not mean achieving your dream weight, by the way. You may have this goal in your mind, just like I had, I gotta be 62 kilograms. This may not have exactly, this may have nothing to do with your health. Healthy exercise means also plenty of rest, sleep, and good nutrition. And then strength, in my opinion, is a great goal, but it does not have to look extreme. Instead of thinking about burning more calories and getting the weight down, think, how can I move better and get stronger, and as a result, feel healthier. So this is it from me tonight. I hope